You know, there's an old joke in the auto industry about a factory so automated the robots started painting each other instead of the cars. Well, guess what? It's not a joke. It's a true story, a cautionary tale from the 1980s. Today, we're in the middle of another robot revolution, but this one's powered by AI. So is it really different this time? Let's get into it and see if we've actually learned our lesson.
So picture this. It's the mid-80s, and General Motors chairman Roger Smith has this incredible vision. He'd seen robots in Japan with this amazing, delicate precision, and he wanted that for GM. He dreamed of a completely automated, lights-out factory. You know, a place where the machines did everything. It was a massive, moonshot-level ambition. But the reality? Oh, it was a spectacular failure. The costs just spiraled out of control. And those supposedly advanced robots, well, they were pretty much witless. They couldn't tell the difference between car models, they'd drop windshields, and yep, the legend is true, they even started spray painting each other. GM's grand vision for a lights-out factory had to be shut down. A very public and very, very expensive lesson.
Okay, so with a failure that big in our collective memory, you'd think we'd be a little hesitant, right? But what's happening is the exact opposite. Right now, we are in the middle of this huge global surge in factory automation. The robot uprising is finally here, for real this time, and it looks nothing like it did before.
And if you need proof, just look at the numbers. The scale of this trend is just undeniable. This isn't some tiny little uptick. We're talking about a massive, sustained climb in new industrial robot installations year after year after year. And the forecast? It's just going to keep going up. This isn't some future promise. It's happening right now in factories all over the world.
So that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? If the ambition for automation isn't new, what is? What is the fundamental thing that separates Roger Smith's failed dream from the boom we're seeing today?
Well, there are a few big things going on. We've got aging populations in a lot of developed countries, which means, frankly, there are labor shortages. You've also got governments pushing to reshore manufacturing, to bring it back home. And of course, inflation is putting pressure on everyone to be more efficient. But the real game changer, the one thing that makes all the difference, is that last point, a massive, revolutionary breakthrough in AI.
This is it. This is the heart of the matter. See, the old robots had all the muscle, but they had no mind. They could do the same exact thing over and over, but they couldn't think, they couldn't adapt, they couldn't learn. Today's robots, they're getting brains, and those brains are being powered by generative AI.
So it's really important to understand what this means. You could think of it as the ChatGPT moment, but for the physical world. Just like ChatGPT can understand what you're asking and generate new text, this kind of AI lets a robot actually reason about a task, solve problems it hasn't seen before, and learn from its own experience, all without a human having to code every single possible outcome.
And this visual really drives the point home. This robot arm isn't just welding the same spot on a car door 1,000 times a day. No, it's using its AI to see its environment, to adapt its movements on the fly, to handle little variations. This is a machine that can actually learn and get better at its job. It's a whole different universe from the witless machines of the past.
And this isn't just some lab experiment. It's happening now. And it's happening in 3 really cool ways. First, robots are actually teaching themselves. I mean, AI from NVIDIA called Eureka is teaching robots how to do super complex things, like spinning a pen in their fingers, way faster than a person could ever program it. Second, they're learning on the job. At carmaker Skoda, Covariant's AI is helping robots figure out how to pick up brand new parts, getting a little smarter every single time they do it. And third, and this is wild, they're starting to write their own code. Giants like Siemens and Microsoft are creating AI that helps factory machines literally generate their own instructions. They are becoming truly autonomous.
But look, smarter technology is only half the battle. The other half, and this is just as important, is that we, the people implementing it, have gotten smarter too. There's a whole new playbook for automation, one that's built on all those painful lessons from the past.
And this chart just lays out the difference perfectly. Over on the left, you have that old playbook. The goal was to just replace humans. The method was rigid programming. The structure was one giant, high-risk, lights-out factory. Now, look at the right. Today's playbook is totally different. The goal isn't replacement, it's collaboration. The method isn't rigid, it's AI that learns and adapts. And instead of betting the whole farm on one huge factory, the entire strategy is more flexible and digitally driven from the start.
So here's what that actually looks like. First, companies use digital twins.
Before they even pour the concrete, they build a complete virtual copy of the factory. They can test everything, optimize workflows, and fix problems in the simulation, which, as you can imagine, cuts down risk and cost massively. Second, it's about creating human-robot teams. You have autonomous carts moving parts around and robots doing the heavy lifting, which frees up the human workers to focus on trickier problems and quality control. And finally, instead of those giant mega plants, companies are building smaller, more flexible plants called fabricas that can change on a dime and be located closer to customers.
So, here we are back where we started. The technology we have today is without a doubt more powerful than Roger Smith ever could have imagined. The robots are definitely not witless anymore. But the success of this whole new era of automation, it doesn't just depend on smarter machines. It depends on us, on our critical thinking, our strategy, and our ability to remember the mistakes of the past so we don't repeat them. We finally have the smart robots. The real question is, have we finally learned to be wise?